Hello. Good, good. Hey,
Okay?
I
Can
can
you hear me
see
okay?
you're letting your beard grow like me.
I mean, I was just
Yeah. It's
watching.
kind of yeah, now better.
Okay. I was just watching you and Sesk, and I was thinking, how am I supposed to go on with this beard when I'm watching you two, man? For God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. I'm getting killed by everybody, but I don't really care.
Imagine what I'm getting if you're getting killed for that.
Wow, look, it's not actually, I think it's not bad. But anyway, how are you, big man? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Obviously, strange times, foreign to me.
Yeah,
This is new to obviously everyone, but it's different. It's tough, but I mean, I'm trying to look at the positives. I've got to spend more time with my family. I've got some away time to reflect on the good season we've had so far. But yeah, like everyone, I'm missing football, just like probably you are, just like everyone in the world is.
yeah.
How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, but like you just said, we first and foremost we need to be safe. I'm okay. I'm in Montreal right now. Some team in the MLS can train individually. We cannot because where we are is the worst town in Canada, so we're not allowed to go outside and even go to our training camp and be on the side and train individually. But like you said, and like I think everyone is saying, first and foremost, we need to be safe, occupy ourselves. How do you occupy yourself?
To be fair, I've been training individually,
Okay.
doing my stuff, trying to stay in some sort of routine, to keep the fitness up, and obviously, and we're getting regular updates, but it's kind of all a bit up in the air at the moment. We don't really know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep, obviously, like everyone else, a level of fitness. So if we do go back in, as and when we're told, then I'm going to be ready. But how do I occupy myself? I watch your interviews with the lads. Really enjoyed listening to you and Sess there. Like really interesting. I think almost forgot that I was going to be coming on after because I was loving hearing you two talk about football and old times and stuff because you two are players. Obviously, as I was growing up a bit younger, were Premier League greats at the time, and that was the era where I was really started to find my love for football. So that was really interesting. Apart from that, not a whole lot to be honest. A little bit of PlayStation, but not a lot to
Not
shout about to be
cooking? You're
honest.
not cooking?
I'm back with my family, so my mum, who
Ah,
will
so
probably be
no, so you have an
watching,
easy one.
yeah, she's putting the food on the table every night, so I've kind of got my feet up. I'm waiting.
I wanted to ask you something because I'm not going to put you on the spot or putting pressure on you because you look like a guy that can handle pressure, and I'm sure that you're a level-headed guy. I spoke to Colo, as you know, I played with Colo, so I spoke to Colo, so he told me
Yeah.
told me about you that you are a good player, very committed. But I just like the way you play because I think that you're very clever on the ball. You have an idea of what you want to do before you receive the ball, and then you have the quality also to execute stuff uh, by yourself. You can pass and you can go. So I wanted to know who inspired you as a player, who you looked at and then you went, oh, I want to do a bit of that.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that because it kind of leads off what you and Sess were saying because David Silva. I don't want to go
Ah,
back into that too much, but obviously, how long has he been at Man City now? Maybe 10 years. It's coming up to 10 years, right?
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, not fun.
So obviously, 10 years ago, I would have been 13, coming through my schoolboy ages of watching Premier League, and really when I started to really understand the game properly, in my opinion. Um, and he had obviously just come to Man City, and I watched the Premier League every week. I never missed a game because I love the game. And he is a player who, like myself, a little bit, I think, has always been a bit smaller. When I was a bit younger, I was smaller. I was a bit
Mhm.
weaker. I was a little bit late in my development. And I used to watch David Silva and the way he caresses the ball, the way he receives the ball, and just a beautiful player to watch. And I know you and Seth talked about it, so I don't want to bore the fans by going
No,
back
no,
onto
go
that
back, go
too
back,
much.
go back,
But
go back.
yeah,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big
yeah,
fan
I
of
love.
David Silva.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan as well, and that's why after the first game we played Man City, after the game we'd cooled down a bit. I said to the kit man, "Can you please go and ask for David Silva's shirt?" Because that's obviously when I thought in my first season in the Premier League, playing against him, a guy who I've watched and tried to almost literally study in his peak years at Man City, and then I was sharing the field with him was a brilliant feeling. But yeah, like I said, the way he receives the ball, the way he turns, the way he's so, it's like he's got wing mirrors, you know. You can just see behind him and
No.
the space, and it's a joy to
Well,
watch.
you get that with Spanish players. That's what we were talking with
Yeah, I
Cesc
agree.
about, because at a young age they prioritize this instead of how big you are, how fast you are. So you can see those guys think way before. But there is something else that I like about David Silva. If you watch and you did, as you said, how it gets in, he gets involved, he puts his foot in, he defends,
Yeah,
he tackles, he battles. You know, I think that's for me also very important. But yeah, you can see that he's looking to do something when he has the ball. He just doesn't pass the ball for no reason. Most of the
yeah,
time, you know, if you ask a guy, why did you make that pass? Some of the guys cannot answer to you. They will
yeah,
not tell you a good explanation of why they're making the pass. Spanish players, you can see that they are cooking something. You know, they're
yeah.
preparing something.
His weight of pass as well, you know, it's not just seeing the pass. Obviously, the execution has to be perfect, and that's why he's been at
Yeah.
the top level for so many years, because the execution of his passing is just second to none, and I can't think of anyone better in the Premier League that's better than him at that, to be honest.
No, I don't know if you saw some of my interviews. I always talk about Michael Laudrup.
Yeah,
And if you want to see passes, you have to look at Michael Laudrup. Even De La Peña also was outstanding on passes. Ronaldinho and a lot, by the way. But Michael Laudrup was just ridiculous. It was
yeah.
just ridiculous. Seriously, I always say, go on YouTube if you have time. The ultimate passing compilation, I think it is. Michael Laudrup is an hour. And then he just looks like fake, some of his passes.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Loudrop,
Have a
to be
look, you
honest,
will
but
see. It's
I'll have a
just,
look.
have a look. It's just ridiculous. How are you liking it in Leicester?
Just quickly going back, by the way, I remember last year, just last point on David Silva. I remember we were
Go
playing at the
on.
Etihad, the big game where Company scored the winner, when we had a chance to
Yeah.
almost win it for Liverpool if we took some points from that game. I remember it was in the first half, and I just wanted to touch on it because you said David Silva, he gets stuck in as well. You know, he puts his foot in. I remember I must have received the ball on the halfway line, and on my blind side, someone came in and smashed me, and I'm on the floor and I'm thinking I'm going to look up and see like Fernandinho or Company, and I got up and it was David Silva, and he was like a bit smaller than me, and I was thinking that can't be right. But like you said, that he does. That's why I wanted to say that, because he does put his foot in, and even though he is a beautiful player, and maybe people he doesn't get enough credit for, but he wouldn't play for Pep. Obviously, you know Pep very well. He wouldn't play for
Oh
Pep
yes.
if he didn't do that as well. You know, so but yeah, that's why he's the best. But
No,
what did you say? What
you
did
have
you
to.
say? Sorry.
No. How do you like it in Leicester? You know, obviously, I love how Brendan Rodgers set his team to play.
Yeah.
And obviously, how is it also with my old teammate Kolo? Kolo is funny.
Cola. He's one of a kind. I remember, obviously, you know how players, when they first obviously join a club, you have to do like a song for initiation and stand up in front
Yeah.
of the whole thing. And Colo did his, and he was happy to do so. And he did. He got up. He moved a couple of chairs out of the way because a few of the lads had been. A few of the new players had obviously gone and sung. He moved the chairs out of the way, and I was thinking, what's he doing here? He started doing his the
Oh
the
my
dance,
gosh.
and he's dancing around the tables. And he's only been in a job like 2 days, and after that, everyone warmed to him. You know what he's like. He's got a great personality, and he's a great coach as well now. And I think he's learning under Brendan Rodgers, like you said. But really enjoying it at Leicester, to be honest. Obviously, coming to the end of my second season now. Really enjoying it. We've had a good season. We're in the Champions League places, which is very promising. Which is why, fingers crossed, we can finish the
Yeah.
season and really secure the good work that we've done in that. But I love playing for the manager. Like you said, he sets his
Yeah.
teams out in a way which I love, and he's got me working harder. He's got me pressing harder, which is maybe, if you ask someone 18 months ago, what are the question marks about James Maddison? What is he not so good at? I think maybe people would have said he's not very good defensively, or he wants to be a typical number 10 that doesn't really do much. But he's kind of changed me into like a number 8 who can do the defensive stuff as well. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
But there's one thing that I think very important also, you know, Pep got me into that is learn how to defend going forward.
Yeah.
So putting pressure, and what it does is you stay there. So you only have to run 5 to 6 to 7 meters if everyone is close to each other instead of doing 60. And then you stay there because what you want is to have the ball and attack again and attack again and attack again, because you never get tired from that. You get tired when you have to go the other way for some reason. Don't ask me why, but you get tired when you have to go that way.
It's a hard one to explain that, isn't it? It's a hard one to explain.
It is. It is. But you know, this is something that's going to come, you know, for you. You're going to play games, understand your game better, understand the Premier League better, understand who you're playing against better, understand momentum better. Because sometime at a young age, I remember I wanted to do everything in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, then now, or, you know, after, I'm sorry, now I'm not playing, but after that, I started to pick moments.
Yeah.
It has to be now.
Some of the stuff that you're saying is very, very similar, and it's kind of messages that Brendan Rodgers said. Going back to what you said about the counter pressing and not having to run back, these words have literally come out of his mouth. I remember him saying, if you lose the ball and you go and press for 4 seconds, it stops you having to do 15 seconds back that way. You know? Yeah. And you're not always going to win the ball in that press.
No, but it's an attitude that you need to have. It's an attitude that you need to have, and that's why you are where you are right now. And you got a call to play for your country. By the way, how was that?
Ah, that was fantastic.
How was that?
Yeah, I'd been in, I think, maybe 4 squads, you know, and I hadn't actually got game time yet. A couple of times there was a few players that were injured, so I was in and stuff. But that one, I remember thinking, I've got a real chance at going to get game time. I was scoring goals at the time. I mean, I think the game before the international break, sorry to bring it up, we beat Arsenal at home 2-0. I scored a lovely goal, and
it's all right.
Couldn't wait to get that in. But yeah, I felt like I was in good form, and I thought this one could be my chance. And I was on the bench to start with, and obviously Gareth Southgate called me on, and I played maybe 30, 35 minutes or whatever it was. And I just remember thinking, as I was coming on for Oxlade-Chamberlain, I remember thinking, like, this is a moment I've worked so hard towards, and I want to go and show everyone what I can do. And maybe a little bit, I was a bit too keen, and maybe like,
yeah, it's normal
sprinting around. But like you said, obviously things like that you will learn with experience and stuff. But great moment for me. I'm going to get my debut shirt, which is signed by everyone framed. That'll be something that I'll treasure forever, and I know my family are so proud of it. So you probably remember your debut for France as well. But a great thing.
I was rubbish.
I wasn't much better, to be honest.
I was bad because I wanted to do everything. I ended up not doing anything. And then the worst thing is I wasn't me. So I was like, make sure you don't lose the ball.
Yeah.
But then if you make sure you don't lose the ball, stay at home, because you're going to lose the ball. So I wasn't in the mindset that made me go to the national team. I used to be a guy that used to take people on, and I arrived in the national team, ball was coming, and I gave it back. You know, I was giving it back. I'm like, oh, I didn't lose the ball. But then I was like, yeah, but you didn't do anything also. So, you know, when people get those stats like, he doesn't lose the ball, I'm like, yeah, if you give the ball back to the goalkeeper, the center back, and the wing back, and the full back, I also can play even now. If you play forward, you turn under pressure, it's a different ball game. And so I was a bit upset with myself, but that will come. That will come. You know, when you... Okay, I'm going to share something with you. Like, I'm sure when you arrive in the Premier League, you're like, oh, that's fast. You know, you're controlling the ball, people are already around you. Now, I'm sure now, when you turn, you see everything in slow motion. Yeah. Everything you can see.
You have to adapt, don't you? You have to adapt. And I remember my debut was at Old Trafford away on a Friday night. The opening game of the Premier League, Friday night football, I remember. I turned up and all the cameras were down the side, and I could see Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. I'm thinking, yeah, I've arrived now, you know. And I remember the first 5 minutes, it was so quick. I actually had a good first touch, you know. It's important. I made my touch was sharp, and I played a nice 1-2 or something. I remember thinking, if I took half a second longer there, I was getting tackled, you know. So I thought, I've got to be on it here. And then obviously, the more games I've played and stuff, the more experienced I've become, like you said. And now I feel like I'm at a level where I'll go into a game hoping, I think I'm going to affect the game today. And that's why you say stats can be misleading sometimes, because sometimes I'll play a game and then someone will text me after and say, "Oh, well done today. You had 95% pass completion." And I think I'm going home annoyed because I didn't create any chances or I didn't have enough shots, you know. So I couldn't agree more with you on the stats thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I always say that, you know. I remember when because I used to speak my mind and people used to be a bit shocked when I used to say what I said. And because I'm very, you know, I say, you can ask Colo. Colo played with me. He'll tell you, I'll just tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, then you have to move on. And that's how it is. And so at the end of the game, I think I scored a hat-trick against Norwich once. I did not move. I was embarrassing. I was actually embarrassed because I was like, I was really bad. But I scored 3 goals. And so everyone came at the end, you know, the journalist said, Thierry, you had a great game. I said, no, I didn't. I scored, but I didn't have a great game. That's a different ball game. I scored, but I didn't have a great game. And so I think it's unfair. It was always unfair. And I will always say it, strikers get judged on goals. And they get away with murder sometimes. Because, you know, sometimes you have to carry us. You have to carry a striker sometimes, hoping that he can help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Get that one chance.
So that's why, while I was playing, I started to think that assist is very important. You know, to give, because sometimes, as you know, your team is defending for 90 minutes. You're looking at them defending most of the times, and you didn't really help. So when I could in games, I used to love to also give assists. You know, assists for me is as important as goals. Or even more important, and I think that people sometimes do not emphasize on that. If you watch an advert, right? If you watch an advert, it's always the goalkeeper gets the ball, plays it, and finishes on the goal scorer. That scores and celebration. I know it's the hardest thing in the game, and that's what you want. You want goals. But people don't talk about the assist. People don't talk about the tackle on the line. People don't talk about the goalkeeper saving it. You can't value really how many points a goalkeeper gives you in a season, which I think it's unfair because without a great goalkeeper, you can't go nowhere. Good defenders are your first attackers. If they don't pass the ball well through midfield, you're in trouble. And so it's a team game, and I think for me that's the most important thing. That's why I like the way you play, because it looks like for you it is as important to give than to score. And I like that.
Definitely. But I think it's more interesting to hear that from you because you're a striker. And to hear that, you would normally hear that from a midfield player, but let's not forget. And I think that attitude and that mentality is probably why you are regarded as, in my opinion, the best Premier League striker ever. And I'm not just saying that because we're on live and I'm not trying to, like, you know, big you up because we're on Puma and stuff, but, like, that's why, in my opinion, you are, because to have that mindset as a striker is very rare, I would think. Strikers are all about scoring goals. Every striker I've played with is always about scoring goals, you know. And you have the record number of assists, right? And I know, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is breathing down your neck on that one. But
I know.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, that's why I think that's so important. That mindset that you have is so rare to have as a striker.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Is that it's difficult for strikers because you get brainwashed when you're young. You have to score. You have to score. That's the most important thing. You need to score. You have to score. You need to score. So you start to believe that, and the joy of scoring is like a drug. The more you score, the more you want to score, right?
Yeah.
But I always said that the most important thing is we have to score. If it's me 30 times, so be it. But if we are 0-0, and it's important to pass the ball, because we need to be 1-0 up, I'll pass the ball because we need to win and we need to score. Now, because I was playing as a striker, I was always going to be at the end of the movement of great players that I played with. So sometimes give something back to them. I used to give also away a lot of penalties. I used to give them, you know, sometimes guys that didn't play for a long time, or guys out that were leaving the club or stuff like that. And it was a game. I tell you, it was a game. I played the under-21. We played Ukraine in France. And I gave 4 assists in the game. But the game after, they needed someone in the first team to play against Andorra, because one of the first team, I'm talking about the national team, eh?
Yeah.
One of the strikers in the national team got injured. And they called David Trezeguet, and rightly so, because David Trezeguet scored the 4 goals.
Okay.
No, but rightly so. I'm not having a go. Understand me well.
Yeah.
He deserves to go. But then I was like, hang on a minute. So assist doesn't matter. I wasn't judging what they did with him. He deserved to go. But then I went, wait, assists. So assists do not count in the game. I was like, okay, now I know what I need to do. I need to do both. So if you like assists, I'm here. If you like goals, I'm here. That's why it's very difficult for me. I'll explain something to you. It's very important. That's why when people compare me to proper number 9, I don't like it because I wasn't the proper number 9. I was never in the box. I wasn't the proper number 9. I wasn't always at the end of move. I used to start moves. I used to come in midfield and play.
You used to start and finish moves.
No, that's a different story. Leave that one. But you know what I mean? For me, the most important thing is I used to get upset when I didn't help the team. Whether I didn't score or I didn't have an assist or I didn't play well. And if I didn't do the 3, ask Colo. You know, I was a bit of a pain in the neck, to stay polite. But that was me, because at the end of the day, you need to do whatever it takes for the team, and that's very important. And I'm not a natural born scorer. I'm a guy that developed himself to a player that could assist, score, and then I started to work on my free kicks. And I know you love to take free kicks also.
Yes.
You know, that's very important also. You know, the more tools you have, and more is going to be difficult for the boss to take you out of the team, because the boss will go like, wait, hang on a minute, he can take set pieces. Wait, he can assist. He puts pressure and he scores. You're the first name on that on that piece of paper. You will be. Period.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you said like you like to work on free kicks. When I think of you, and I think of you and free kicks, there's one that comes to mind. Do you know which one I'm thinking of? Or?
Hang on a minute. The free kick. Roma away? No.
The one where I'm pretty, if I remember rightly, correct me if I'm wrong, you had to retake it. I think it might have been Wigan or something.
You want to know the story?
Yeah, I want to know the story, please.
I'll tell you the story.
All I remember is the look at the referee.
I'll tell you the story because
please tell me the story.
I got labeled as cocky or whatever it was. It was a bit cocky, I'll be honest with you, but that was a great. Colo will tell you, if you poke me, I'm gonna talk. If you let me be, then let me be. And sometimes if I was sleeping, let me sleep, because it happened to me, and just let me sleep. But I don't know if you remember, I scored a goal at Villa. I scored against Chelsea. I took a quick free kick. Villa, quick free kick. And so people were like, oh, well, it's not fair. What do you mean it's not fair? If I don't want a wall, I don't want a wall.
Yeah.
Right? That's the rule. So the goalkeeper of Wigan was on his post, right? So I put the ball down. And I was about to do it. I said, ref, I don't want the ball. The ref put himself in front of the ball. He said, no, Thierry. So I went, what? He went, no, there was too many arguments about you taking free kicks or whatever, so you have to wait. I was raging. I went, what do you mean? That's a rule. What do you mean? So that's why when I scored, I went, is that enough? Did I wait enough? That's what I said.
Is that enough?
Is that enough?
I remember.
That's why I turned and looked at him, because he was there. I went, is that enough? Okay, same result.
I remember, because the camera angle was perfectly on your face, and you almost turned to the camera angle and you said, is that enough?
Yeah, because the ref was there. So I said to the ref,
that side,
And that's the story. And then people were like, oh my God, look at what he said. Yeah, but there was it's just you know, when you're on the field, sometimes it just comes out, and that's just the way it is. But like I said, man,
I've actually tried a couple of when I was younger, I used to love quick free kicks as well. I scored when I was we're talking when I was in the youth team now. I've scored a couple. I've got just in under 18 games at the training ground and stuff. And in the last 2 years of being in the Premier League, I've tried to take a couple of free kick ones, and I'll be like, ref, can I take this quickly? Keeper's on his post, no, and I think, and the ref every time now is no, wait for the whistle. So now I know why, because I'm looking at the reason why. So you've stopped me from scoring a few goals.
But I don't understand, because if you don't want a wall, you don't want a wall. You're allowed to. You're allowed to play quick.
I couldn't agree more. I know. I think the refs are just trying to keep their own back, you know.
That was a funny one. But for me, keep on doing what you're doing. because I love the way you're playing. I'm nobody, by the way, but I'm just telling you, I love the way that you're playing. I like to watch players like you that think. Thinking is important in the game.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, and there is one thing that we don't use often is our brain. The best camera, I always say that we have, is our brain. You take pictures every day.
Yeah.
You know, when you blink, you're taking a picture. And so whether you remember what you took or not as a picture, your brain will have it in the back of his head. That's why sometimes when you arrive in some situation, because you worked at it so many times, you've seen it so many times, you come out of it. Because also you have the quality to do it, by the way. But carry on doing what you're doing. Love the way you're playing. Think about the team. It's the most important thing. But remember that if you don't have a big ego channeled well towards the team, towards your goal, and what you need to do to help the team, you will never succeed. People always say, oh, he has a big ego, this guy. Yeah, and he should. But towards what the team needs.
Yeah.
Put your individual work into the good of the team. No, I'm going to say to Brendan Rodgers, hey, I'm not trying to say anything to your player, but I'm just telling you, it's the most important thing. Don't be scared of having a big ego. Don't be scared of
to be fair, Brendan Rodgers is good like that, because he always says it's important that you play with personality. You know, you have to play. You have to show that you're a big player, because big players show that they're big players. You know, and I would never want to come across as arrogant. I know there's a fine line and whatever, and I always believe in myself. And in interviews sometimes maybe come across a little bit, but that's not me. I'm a humble, nice guy, if you know me. But on the pitch, I always believe, as you've mentioned, you have to have that attitude. You have to want to be a big player. You have to know you're a big player, you know. And I'm still learning. I'm still getting there. So I'll take your advice on board.
No, listen, you have to be, I call it, confident. The only time that people think that you're going to be arrogant is that because they are not confident themselves. So when they see your confidence, they see it as arrogance because they cannot be confident themselves. Do you understand what I mean? I'm going to ask you a last question because you have to go. I know you're tight on schedule. What is your biggest goal?
My biggest goal?
Yeah, what do you want to achieve? I
would say, personally, and I think only in the last year, 2 years, I would say this is, like, in my house, I have a trophy cabinet, and there's not many trophies in there, to be honest, Thierry. Like, there's individual awards. I have no trophies. And you're someone who, if you showed me your trophy cabinet, we probably haven't got enough time to go through it. But I want trophies, you know. We got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, this season, right? And we lost to Aston Villa away over the 2 legs. And I remember the feeling I felt after that game was a feeling that I'd never felt before, because I've never got that close to a final at Wembley and a trophy. And that's when I realised I want to win trophies. And we're in, obviously, let's fingers crossed the season can resume. We're in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. We have Chelsea. And it's almost that heartbreak this season of losing out the last stages of a tournament makes me want to win trophies. So I think my goal would be to try and win as many trophies. Like you said, goes back to you talking about wanting to do what's best for the team, and I'd love to win trophies. So I'd have to say that.
It is. Sometimes I get, it's music to my ear because sometimes you come to the game to win as a team, first and foremost. Yeah. Although you have like stuff that are going to come in your ear and always pinpoint individuals before the team. I don't like it. You come to win as a team. Individually, we all have to do our work to make the team better.
To win as a team, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I get it. Do your job individually and what you're supposed to do for the team to make the team better. Bring your 5%, your 10%, your 20%, or whatever it is. I get annoyed when I hear people say, what's your biggest goal? And they go like, to win individual trophies. What?
Yeah.
That will come if you win first with your team, normally. Or you're outstanding player and then it doesn't matter anymore. But first and foremost, surely, you're playing a collective sport, your aim should be to win as a team. Whatever's going to come after will come after. That can never be your first goal, because that will tell me a lot about you and what you want to do. So you want the team to help you to win, or you helping the team to win, then you can get individual awards.
Yeah, because if you have 11 players with that attitude of wanting to win individual awards, you'll never win collective award, you know, and that's what I mean. You know, obviously at Leicester as well, with the recent Premier League success in 2015-16, and obviously you know how it feels to win the Premier League. Makes me so happy walking around the training ground, seeing the pictures and seeing the lads talk about that time, and it's almost like wet. My mouth gets wet and I get the appetite, and I think, oh, I want that feeling, you know, that feeling of winning trophies, how happy it made them, how happy it would have made you. And so, yeah, that's the goal.
It is for me outstanding. And I spoke to Kolo about the team because obviously I'm close to Kolo, and he told me only good stuff about you, and talking to you reassures me now that what I think and what I thought. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm nobody, but it's just me with me and what I was thinking. So, no, it's true. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is your time. This is your league. This is your era. I'm long gone, so it is what it is. But I love the way you play. I told you, and I'm not saying that because you're there. I will tell you. Maybe I wouldn't have told you I don't like the way you play, but I wouldn't have told you, surely, I like the way you play. But no, joking apart, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you stay safe and carry on working on every aspect of the game. That's very important. Make it difficult for your boss.
I will do. Pleasure was mine. Thank you, Thierry.
Say hi to the family for me, yeah?
Will do. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Safe.